Now, I am here to tell you guys the moment has came. Early this morning, Kelsey Mitchell sent shockwaves throughout the WNBA today, and the news has broken ground, dog. Caitlin Clark and Indiana Fever will keep their backcourt for the 2025 season.
Recently, there was a major surprise in the WNBA, especially in Indiana. Kelsey Mitchell, one of the league's top players, shocked everyone by not leaving for a team like Golden State, as many expected. Instead, she announced she's staying in Indiana. You might wonder, why is this such a big deal? Imagine this. Caitlin Clark, the new rookie sensation taking the basketball world by storm, teams up with Kelsey Mitchell, a player known for her incredible scoring ability. This duo could be unstoppable. Mitchell isn't just a backcourt player. She's a game changer, a force that the rest of the league isn't ready for. The plot thickens because everyone thought Mitchell was gone. Golden State seemed like a likely destination, and there were even reports saying she was leaving, including comments from Candace Parker. But Mitchell made it clear that she's staying, sending a powerful message to the whole league. The shockwaves are still being felt.
Kelsey Mitchell re-signs with the Indiana Fever. So the best backcourt in the WNBA is back.
You might be wondering why this is such a big deal. Well, let me explain. Kelsey Mitchell isn't just any player. She's a scoring powerhouse. Last season, she averaged 19.2 points per game and shot an impressive 47% from the field. That's not just good, it's elite-level scoring. On top of that, she's played in 235 out of the 240 games since 2018, showing durability that's rare and hard to come by.
What's up, everybody? Kelsey Mitchell here, and I'm a Fever girl again. So to my fans, to the basketball world, I'm excited to be here. I'm excited to be back. Indy has been good to me, and hopefully I can pour in and give the same. So here's a bit of Fever girl.
We're just getting started, so if you're wondering what this means for the rest of the league, get ready. Kelsey Mitchell's decision to stay with the Fever isn't just about loyalty, it's about building something special. Remember how the team made the playoffs last year, despite no one expecting it? Now, they're not just putting together a team. They're laying the foundation for a dynasty.
The best backcourt in the WNBA remains intact because Kelsey Mitchell is back, staying with the Indiana Fever and going back-to-back with that backcourt with Caitlin Clark. Of course, Mitchell had been with Indiana her entire career. There was some speculation that she might want to explore other options, but there's no better option for Kelsey than playing along C-squared, as she calls her.
In the backcourt, Kelsey Mitchell and Caitlin Clark aren't just a dynamic duo. They're a scary combination for any opponent. With Aaliyah Boston dominating the paint and Mitchell excelling as an off-ball scorer, she creates space and opportunities for her teammates, especially Clark. Put it all together, and you've got a recipe for success.
Because Kelsey Mitchell had the most notoriety of her career, the easiest time of her career on the court, and now has a chance to compete for championships with that core alongside Clark and, of course, Aaliyah Boston.
The rest of the league still doesn't see it coming, but they'll learn the hard way. The Fever aren't just aiming for a playoff spot, they're after the championship. The Las Vegas Aces better watch out, because a new powerhouse is emerging, and they are hungry for success. What really stands out is how the Indiana Pacers publicly celebrated Mitchell's return. That's not just a nice gesture, it's a sign of respect and recognition. The Fever are starting to demand attention in the league. They are no longer the underdogs, they're becoming a team to be feared.
They're going to win a lot more games. They're going to just wreak havoc throughout this league. And I believe they're going to beat the Las Vegas Aces this season.
You might be wondering, they've got Mitchell and Clark, but how will this all work on the court? Well, let me tell you, it's not just good, it could change the game. We're talking about the WNBA's deadliest backcourt ever.
And the idea Mitchell would want to go anywhere else was always a little odd. It was always a little strange because, again, she became a much bigger star. She shined in the role. Her life was made easier on the court, and she gained so many new fans because of how gifted a bucket getter she is.
Picture this. Caitlin Clark, a human highlight reel, creating jaw-dropping moments every time she touches the ball. But here's where it gets really exciting. It's not just about their individual talents. It's how they complement each other. Kelsey Mitchell, who can score from anywhere on the court, is a walking bucket. Together, they could be unstoppable.
Like the downside to losing Kelsey Mitchell would have been tremendous. And now they've got the new coach in Stephanie White, which was obviously a huge, big deal. And they've got that core. And I know I've said this before and I've been hammering the point home, but that foundation is in place.
While Clark is a playmaking wizard who can create shots out of thin air, Mitchell is an off-ball scoring machine. She can catch and shoot, cut to the basket, and space the floor like no one else. And get this, during her senior year at Iowa, Clark averaged 8.2 assists per game. That's not just good, that's historic.
He was there when they got the number 1 pick, and Caitlin Clark, obviously not a good team. The team that gets the number 1 pick in the draft is not a good team. That's a general rule. Something you could take to the bank. And then all of a sudden they're in the playoffs.
Now, imagine trying to focus on just stopping Caitlin Clark. It's like playing a game of whack-a-mole, except the moles are scoring machines and you're the defender struggling to keep up. But wait, it gets even tougher. Don't forget about Aaliyah Boston, who adds another level to this offense. She's not just a backcourt threat. She's a three-headed monster, capable of attacking defenses in ways that make it nearly impossible to defend. Mitchell breaks down defenders, and Clark always finds the open teammate. It's an offensive nightmare.
At the same time, this is a situation that allows someone to be destined to thrive. Destined to thrive. You get to play with a once-in-a-lifetime player in Caitlin Clark, who brings once-in-a-lifetime attention. An organization that knows what they're doing, where you've been, where you're going to be celebrated.
The crazy part is, some people are still missing the bigger picture. They are focused on Mitchell and Clark separately, not seeing how their duo will elevate the Fever's fast-paced, tough defense. Remember when people used to laugh at the Indiana Fever? Those days are over. Last season, they shocked everyone by making the playoffs when no one thought they could, and they did it despite facing some big challenges. Now, with Stephanie White, a coaching mastermind, they're fixing their biggest weakness, defense. Both Mitchell and Clark excel in transition and can finish at the rim. It's like adding rocket fuel to a sports car. This team is about to take off.
As for Stephanie White, she's a basketball guru. She comes in, implement a whole new style, and fix the biggest problem on the team, which was defense. They're going to make it a hell of a lot further than what they did last year, bro.
You might be thinking, they made the playoffs, but so what? Well, here's where it gets exciting. The Fever aren't just aiming to sneak into the postseason anymore. They're building something much bigger, something that could shake up the entire league. And it's not just about Mitchell and Clark dominating the scoreboard. When you look at it, they've got a coach who knows how to bring it all together, young stars like Clark and Boston, and veterans like Mitchell. It's like they're cooking up the perfect basketball recipe, and the rest of the league has no idea what's coming.
So there you have it. Kelsey Mitchell back with the Indiana Fever. Really exciting news for fans of the team, because I think that was the only thing that was needed to make free agency a success, if you will. Not a smashing success as of yet, because they still have to upgrade the rest of the roster, but that was the move that needed to happen. That was the move that they needed to solidify.
Here's the real kicker. The biggest piece of the puzzle is being overlooked because everyone's so focused on the Fever's explosive offense. As we mentioned, Stephanie White is already improving their defense, but it's not just her coaching smarts. She's got a secret weapon that could turn this team into a nightmare for opponents. You might be wondering, what kind of secret weapon are we talking about? Is it a new defensive scheme? A training method? Or maybe something totally unexpected that will make you think, why didn't I think of that?
She'll get a ton of all-star votes. She'll sell a ton of jerseys. She'll have her life made easier with the passes she receives, the defenses she faces because of the attention of the other players. She'll get to go off, and she's fun to watch. Like, look, I don't care where Kelsey was playing. She's fun to watch. She's fast. Got that boogie in her game. Brilliant to watch in that regard. Bucket getter, born bucket getter.
When you add that secret weapon to the offensive firepower we've been talking about, it's clear. The rest of the league better start paying attention. This isn't just about XS and OS. It's about a whole new style of play that will leave other teams scrambling to catch up. Are we witnessing the birth of the next dynasty in the WNBA? The Indiana Fever aren't just here to play. They're here to dominate. It might sound crazy now, but in a few months, you'll be shaking your head, remembering the first time you heard it.
This is major because for the simple fact, let's say they don't decide to get anybody. They still made the playoffs last year. We know they could have done a hell of a lot better if it wasn't for Christie's size kind of sabotaging the team a little bit, allegedly.
If you think that's an exaggeration, just wait and see what's coming next. This team isn't just good. They have the potential to be great, and they're about to prove it to everyone who ever doubted them. You might be asking, the Fever look good, but can they really take on the top teams? Let me tell you, they're coming for the crown. The Las Vegas Aces, who should be watching their backs, better be ready because the Fever are hungry.
All the Indiana Fever need is a bench. They get a good solid bench, and a good point forward that can shoot. They good, bro. At the end of the day, that is what I believe they need to compete for a championship.
It's true that the Fever could use a strong power forward who can stretch the floor, defend, and rebound. But there's still one crucial piece missing. Can you believe that one player could be the difference between a championship parade and a playoff exit? If they get that piece, we're not just talking about a playoff team. We're talking about a serious championship contender.
I don't think they have enough yet to do it. It'll be great to see. Because at the end of the day, you still got big powered super teams out there, dog. It's going to be tough to see them kind of get over the hump. Because let's say they do make it out the first round, I don't see them making it out the second. Let's just all be for real, keep it 1,000 here. As much as I would love to see them go to the championship, as of right now, I feel like we just don't have the pieces. That's not to say we can't get it in the next 4 or 5 days. That 4 or 5 days, that could change everything.